What's up, people? I'm Shaggy, the Opinionated Hippie. This is part 4 of my reviewing and ranking King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizards studio albums. And we are on their 4th release, Oddments, which came out in 2014. And this got its title. What I'm going to do is I'm going to review this and I'm going to compare it to the other 3 according to my preferences. So this got its name, Oddments, is because it really is sort of an odds and sods type collection of apparently outtakes from their previous albums, stuff they did for other projects, and it's just sort of a bunch of stuff lying around that doesn't have a cohesive recording philosophy behind it, and so they just kind of put it all on one 32-minute album. It's called Oddments, and it's just 32 minutes of them doing everything they do with layers and layers of psych awesomeness. It's an instrumental jam. There's some nice acoustic work. There's some woozy psych ballads. There's some woozy psych rockers. There's a lot of psych weirdness going on. There's a lot of psychedelic stuff happening in this. 32 minutes, 12 songs. So the longest song is like 4.5 minutes, which is Work This Time, which I believe is one of their most like listened to songs ever on like streaming services or something like that, right? Apparently it's incredibly popular. Great song, nice sort of soft rock, woozy sort of ballad, kind of almost a, I don't want to say an outlier because every track is kind of an outlier on this album, but it's sort of softness and its sort of soft rock psychness is maybe an outlier for what is on the rest of this album. Opens up with Aluda Majaka, which is an instrumental jam, some really awesome key work in there. It almost reminds me of, and I think there were a couple other jams on 12 Bar Brews or 1 or 2. Kind of reminds me of stuff like Funkadelic was doing on their early albums, where there's this sort of rhythmic center that's like jamming away, but then there's just noise and ambient stuff and other instruments, and it's focused around that, but it's not necessarily connected to it or derived from it. It's just coming at it. And that's a little bit, not completely the way a Funkadelic jam goes, but kind of reminds me the way this goes. It's like you got this rhythm and then just stuff is happening. Weird psych stuff is happening all over it. You got Stressin', lots of really psych vocal stuff. They're doing stuff to the vocals to make it all psych and woozy and weirdy, kind of a slower lo-fi ballad type thing. Vegemite, which could be a children's song. I like Vegemite. I think Mackenzie said that this, of all the songs they've written, this is by far the most straightforward and to the point. It's about Vegemite. Yeah. Pretty good 60s psych kids sing-along type Vegemite song. It's got old, nice bluesy mid-tempo groove right there, kind of a hooky pop thing. They're showing off their sort of pop sensibilities, but again, buried in layers and layers of psych music. Work This Time, ABABCD is a super short 17-second thing, which is probably those chords, maybe. Sleepwalker, really nice sort of upbeat psych rocker, another fun, catchy song. Again, showing off that they can write hooks when they want to. Hot Wax, nice bluesy, nice psych weirdness in there. There's some harmonica action, kind of really going, kind of nice. I like Hot Wax, might be one of my favorite on here. Crying goes into Pipe Dream. Those are the next 2 tracks. Crying has kind of psych pop with really nice, just layers of like psych harmonies that they're just building up. Sort of a dark Velvet Underground if they went very psyche, but like a Velvet Underground vibe slightly. And that goes into this sort of cool instrumental coda called Pipe Dream, which feels like it's sort of an instrumental absorbing some of the emotions from Crying and kind of just developing them instrumentally. I don't know. The songs feel connected, even though they are 2 separate tracks. Homeless Man in Adidas is like a lo-fi acoustic, like finger-picking ballad, sort of a campfire vibe when you're sitting around. And then Oddments, we get like 25 seconds of kind of party music to end the album. Just like, woo, yeah, psych weirdness, go. It's going to end really shortly. We're done. Yeah, 32 minutes. It just goes by like that. So many psych touched, sounds like 60 Psych without sounding like anything you've ever heard from 60 Psych. Just an absolutely fun, awesome early King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard album. Where would I rank it among the other three I've already done? I have it in number 2. Float Along, Fill Your Lungs, that opening Head On Pill and the closing title track just kind of elevate that to like, they're like the big hot air balloons that are lifting that entire album. And while that middle stuff is kind of genre hopping at times, and they really are just flexing their muscles in a whole bunch of different styles, those opening and closing tracks on Float Along just lift that album up for me above the rest of the stuff on here. But Oddments, it just shows what they can do with so many ideas, and how they're, at the core of all these, like I said with Float Along, at the core of all these songs, there's like in a simple sit around the campfire like melody, a simple like set of lyrics, but they go in the studio or they workshop them live or they jam them out, and they just become these psychedelic wonders that, yes, there's unnecessary layers of noise and attitude and randomness and tweaking of vocals, but that's who this band is, and they're not unnecessary because they really do add to this overall experience of what a King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard psych scene is. So yeah, I really, really like this album, but I do think Float Along, Fill Your Lungs is better. All right, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. I highly recommend you listen to this band. They are fantastic. Even these early albums, they're all great. None of these are bad, those first 4. So yeah, check them out. Let me know if you already have. Let me know your thoughts on this album, all that stuff. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and go listen to King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. You won't regret it. Promise you, you won't regret it. Peace. Talk to you later.